Truth Bandits. Hey everybody. I was just watching True News and they're coming out with this bombshell episode where they're talking about the Mossad connections to our politicians and how they were basically blackmailing people all the way up to possibly to Trump. How interesting. Alright, so I'm going to continue with this book, Communist Propaganda Methods. Last time we read the preface, and so this time I'm going to read the introduction. These propaganda methods are being used on us all the time. You'll see it. Right, here we go, introduction. It is not by accident that the most original contribution totalitarianism has made to the technique of government is the development of propaganda, since a form of government which aims at total domination by obliterating the traditional distinction between the public and private spheres can achieve its end only by obliterating that distinction, as it were, in the minds of its citizens. For dominion to be truly total, the citizen must be persuaded that he belongs to the state, body and soul, and day and night. He must consider it not just a burdensome and noxious obligation, but a sacred duty, joyfully assumed, to give himself to the state. Only German Nazism in its heyday came at least close to achieving this totalitarian ideal. Excuse me. It is obviously of great importance for the free societies of the West to assess correctly the impact of totalitarian propaganda upon the peoples living under totalitarian rule. For the correct evaluation of the stability of the totalitarian regimes and of the policies they are likely to pursue in view of the popular support they enjoy depends on good measure upon the correctness of that assessment. The Western world has been rather baffled by this task. It has tended either to overestimate or to underrate the effectiveness of totalitarian propaganda because it has had to argue from general principles rather than from observed facts. It is the great merit of this book that it presents us with a case study for the techniques and results of totalitarian propaganda in a particular country. The conclusions of that are both illuminating and, from our point of view, encouraging. They show clearly that the great difficulties with which the manipulators of a propaganda apparatus made in the Soviet Union and operating in a foreign country must come to terms. At every turn, the free spirit of man asserts itself against the attempts to reduce it to a bundle of reflexes conditioned by totalitarian propaganda. It asserts itself even among the very manipulators of the totalitarian regime. Edmund Burke said, with regard to the totalitarian tendencies of the French Revolution, let us only suffer any person to tell us this story morning and evening, but for 1 12-month, and he will become our master. This may be so in the political sense, but it is not necessarily so in terms of the convictions and loyalties of man. One of the great lessons of the Hungarian Revolution of 1956 has taught us is that the aspiration for freedom is as intrinsic and unquenchable a human motive as the aspiration for love or for power. This book underlines and specifies that lesson by giving us a documented demonstration of how communist propaganda has operated and failed in Czechoslovakia. So that's interesting how it's basically saying that spirit of freedom never dies in humanity, and that is what I'm all about. That's what I'm fighting every day for, is the spirit of freedom, human rights. So I will begin chapter 1 in the next video. You guys go check out True News. They're dumping boatloads of truth on us. True News with Rick Wiles. They do not pay me. I'm giving you this recommendation voluntarily. And man, it's exciting. I'm at a loss for words. It's just everything that's happening right now. It's so exciting. So much truth is coming out. We're seeing this New World Order, Zionist, Communist monster being unveiled, and really exciting times. Okay, everybody, in a couple of days I'll get on to chapter 1. Thank you. Have a great day.